Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanksgiving is this week, and I need to know, have you called Howie's Market yet? You're cutting it close, amigo. Howie's Market is Southern California's one-stop shop for everything Thanksgiving. Your big bird, your gravy, your traditional sides, your wine and spirits, and of course, your pies. I called a few weeks ago and got my order in for an apricot glazed ham. Sweet mercy, this ham is a thing of beauty. The owner of Howie's Market sent me a picture the other day, and every meal I've had since then has utterly sucked because all I want is this damn ham. Give me the ham. This week, I'll be picking it up at my convenience because Howie's Market makes it easy. Call them up, tell them what you need, and go in and grab it. What a country. Be like me. Call 626-286-6767. That's 626-286-6767. Takes you right to the meat department. Two things, folks, before we start the show. If you're not in Southern California, but you want to support the people who support us, the people who play in our tournaments, the people who buy our apparel, and the people who make this podcast free, then give them a follow on Instagram. It's the least you could do, and it's a simple gesture that shows the reach of this podcast and the support of our fellowship listeners. And if you are in Southern California, but you're blowing it for Thanksgiving and not going to Howie's Market, make it a point to drop by after the holiday and walk the aisles of America's greatest grocery store. We love Howie's Market, and we are so excited that they just signed up for a third run of sponsorships on this podcast. Howie's Market, it's how we at Nation shop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fellowship. My name is Adam Hawk, and in the week of giving thanks, you better believe that I am so thankful to be joined by my best friend and business partner, Ryan Engle. Ryan, happy Thanksgiving week.
He said he didn't like this week. Said it's the worst week. Another horrible Hawk take for you folks. You hate to hear it. But yeah, it's a great week. I'm looking forward to it. Unlike my fellow comrade over here, Adam Hawk.
On the Monday before Thanksgiving, what a bipolar next 3 days we have, folks. Welcome to the intersection of leave me the hell alone and you better get a week's worth of work done in the next 48 hours so you can shut it down in time to really enjoy the break. Now, you and I, Ryan, each have other gigs. I am the Assistant Director of Communications and award-winning editor of 4 Magazine for the Southern California Golf Association.
Did you just call yourself an award-winning editor?
Hold your applause, please.
Wow.
I'm trying to do a show. It's pretty distracting when you're standing on your feet, clapping for me, taking your hat off.
Wow.
Please. We're doing a show here. And you, give yourself a little credit. You are a world-renowned surfboard shaper. Both of us have many things to do for many people outside of Nation Golf. Family not excluded.
Got to make plans.
How do your next 3 days look? Lots of custom order sheets for shredders looking to get barreled on a proper 9.5 log with a single fin and a gnarly rocker so they can get carried off the beach at Lowersboro? Or are you on Easy Street?
Oh my God.
How is that?
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
I have a little batch of boards to do, but it's all good, man. Just rolling with the tide, brother.
That's it?
That's it. Might play golf on Wednesday.
Of course. Why wouldn't
Why
you?
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but Adam clearly, he's tied up in some corporate life, and you just hate to see that. You hate to hear it. Just shut it down.
I myself have a magazine to move pretty far along by quitting time Wednesday and some year-end projects to get into damn good shape. So I would describe my workload as something that could comfortably dunk on Mount Everest. And my 6 months clean from panic attacks is officially off the wagon. So I will be going back, Ryan, to AA, which is Anxiety Anonymous, after this week to get my 1-day coin and start anew.
You're kidding, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, it was a joke on Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but I was like, God, I don't know with you. I could see you going to some stupid meeting.
So let's do a freaking podcast, all right? I'll set up the topics. You knock them down, lean and mean, no faffy bullocks, just some piping hot takes, and then we can get on with the other 19 million things between us and Thanksgiving. Are you ready?
How about some piping hot U-Ban?
Well, we got that poured up.
Thank goodness.
Topic 1. Last week at work, I was in the office before you, which is standard operating procedure around here. I sent you a text that said something along the lines of, can you grab some bottled water and beef jerky on your way up the hill today? The text went unresponded, as most of my texts to you go these days. You arrived at HQ, finally looked at your phone, apologized for missing the message, and then I said, no worries, mate. This is par for the course with you the last couple of months. I send you a text. You take hours to respond if you respond at all, which is true. Later that same day, you were looking at your phone and you exclaim out loud, dude, no wonder I don't see your texts. I have you silenced. Wow. All right, silenced. That is heinously offensive.
Look, they don't do a very good job of letting you know that that's the thing.
Who's they?
Whoever's running this show, dude.
What show?
The phone.
Okay, so Apple.
The interface.
There's a name for the company and there's
iOS.
a name for the device.
Way on the far side of the text scrolling apparatus, there's a lightly colored little bell with a slash in it. Hardly visible. It's almost camouflage. I noticed that your name had something next to it that everyone else's didn't.
Yeah, and that was my notifications turned off to alerting you. Now, I did some background research, and my research has yielded the fact that in order to silence someone, you have to, 1, press it, and then 2, confirm that that's what you want to do.
I don't know about that.
Well, I do.
Yeah. Maybe. It was an accident.
Bullshit.
I swear, dude.
So I want to know, what made you silence your business partner? Because here's the thing. You can hate me, you can hate my text, but don't you think you need to read them if we're in business together and 95% of what we text about is nation golf?
Did you ever think it could have been like divine intervention? Maybe you need to be taught to have someone take their time on you. It doesn't have to be just meeting, text, plan, comms. Let the world turn, brother.
Oh my gosh, dude. You are just treading water. Now, listen here. If I, quote unquote, just let the world turn around here, we would get dick done.
Well, maybe.
That's all you have to say for yourself?
I mean,
It
accidentally happened somehow. Maybe it was, I don't know, a few weeks back when you weren't happy with things, and
oh my gosh,
you know, I had to just like take my own mental break from it, and maybe I forgot to turn it back on. I don't know what happened. I can't remember. You got to make plans, Adam. Got to make plans. I didn't plan on this. Had I, would have worked out better.
All right, topic number 2, and I'm not satisfied with the explanation for topic number 1. Moving on to topic number 2, as we run a lean, mean podcast here. Your wife had a birthday this past week. Happy belated to Katie Kai Engle. I want to talk about 3 things as it relates to her birthday. On Thursday night, which was her birthday, you told Justin, Jung, and me that you had a career steak. And I am interested in hearing about that because you were on the coast and not at LG's Prime in La Quinta. So who the hell is having career steaks anywhere but there? I want to hear about that. I also want to hear about the Harbor Hot Lap, and I want to hear about how your birthday present went over. Start with the steak.
So a good buddy of mine that I grew up surfing with, Gabe Horley, he's part of the group that started The Vine in San Clemente, which is a really successful restaurant. And they've branched out, and they have a number of restaurants now, one of which opened recently in San Juan, Capistrano, right on the corner, across from the Mission. It's called Bloom. Just shout out to those guys, because as restaurateurs, they do such an incredible job from service to plate, the entire experience. We had a really good table. Anyways, they were offering a bone-in ribeye that night. And both myself, Uncle Rai Rai, and Dad got the ribeye. And it was a three-way tie of appreciation that, holy shit, this thing was just absolutely perfect. And normally I don't like a steak that has a type of sauce on it, and it was very faintly on there, some type of reduction or whatever. But this thing was just so well cooked and incredible. The thing was massive too. And Kitty Guy looks at me across the table. She's like, you know, you don't have to eat all of that. You can take some of it home. And I was like, maybe. Got to the last bite and, yep, put her down. When you're at a nice restaurant, you're paying top dollar for it, but you're actually getting what you feel you need in return for that. It's wonderful. And then on top of it, knowing that it's your friend's successful business and they're doing a really good job. We had a great dinner. It was awesome. Again, big shout out to Bloom, San Juan Capistrano. If you're ever in town in South Orange County, definitely worth a look.
And how was the Harbor Hot Lap the following evening?
Whew. Well, somewhat of a shell of itself, and then it was somewhat of its old self, too. We started at the Poonery, call that Harpoon Henry's. We used to, back in the day, start at El Torito. El Torito went out of business. I think the black carpet finally got the best of them, you know? It's like, you guys should probably change your carpet. It's black. But good for them. They're gone. We used to start there. We were young back then, though, so like we didn't know how shitty El Torito was. Started at Harpoon's. We actually closed it down because it's technically a restaurant with a bar. We were kind of stressed. We're like, well, if we stop at Wind and See, I don't know how long they're going to be going for. We should just go straight to Turks. So we went straight to Turks, closed Turks down, had a really wonderful time at Turks, and then ended up going to the President's Room after that. Back at my house, we had a full house in there to the gills. We recorded on record the longest President's Room session. We were sending people home damn near close to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So we, as they like to say in the business, Hawk, tied one on.
Yeah, those are New York City closing hours there. How did your birthday present go over to your wife? What did you get her? What did she think?
She's been asking for a keyboard for 5-6 years.
For her computer?
No, like a musical keyboard.
Oh, the importance of describing things when broadcasting.
Oh, yeah. We're running lean at me. We're going to rush through this thing today. My God. Anyways, yeah, she's wanted a keyboard, musical keyboard. I always kind of, maybe every Christmas. We got word that this Christmas we're running lean. We're doing like more of like a stocking stuffer family thing. I thought, well, why not surprise her with something she's been asking for? She's not going to even have any inkling of an idea that it's coming, and do it for her birthday since it's right before Christmas anyways. Found this really cool weighted keyboard piano. It's kind of mid-century looking. It fit right in the corner of the house, and got that thing set up. And I think she's still kind of in shock that A, I got her something she wanted, B, I actually proved that I was listening, and C, it was a complete surprise. Because her reaction has been quite simply in shock.
Nice. Good job.
So, yeah, I'd like to say it was a great birthday weekend for her.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Topic 3, I played golf on Friday at Chester, Washington in Los Angeles. Quite possibly my all-time favorite track. And when I got an invite there, I couldn't help but say yes. But it possibly being my favorite track is another topic for another podcast. Maybe we run down our favorite golf courses of all time and why we feel that way.
Okay.
I played with my buddy Kevin Gagax and 2 other gentlemen. Kevin and I had a very small bet on the round just to keep it interesting and to honor the tradition that gambling is required at Chester, Washington. $5 on the front, 5 on the back, 10 on the total. He's a 4 handicap, so he gave me 4 strokes aside. We teed off at 7:12 in the morning in 41-degree weather, and might I say, I love early golf and I love cold golf. And I especially love how well the all-new Angler's Wool pullover and gaffer's jacket performed both in warmth and movability. Let me read to you how I started my first 6 holes. Par, 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 bogey, birdie. Even through 6 holes, and for me, as an 11.8, I was, shall we say,
Over the moon.
frickin' giddy. Yes, over the moon, indeed.
And that's where the wheels fell off.
Well, we'll see. Kevin Gagax through 6 holes went par, 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 birdie, par, par, and he was 1 under. So we were both playing great and playing off of each other, and thanks to the bulletproof world handicap system, our match was even. Did I mention I was walking, by the way? That's right, I walked the golf course. It was amazing, and even though the wheels on my cart trolley didn't fall off, the wheels on my game sure as hell did.
Because you got excited.
Even through 6, and then I played the next 11 holes. And yes, I know there are 12 holes left. We will get to the 18th later, but I played the next 11 holes at 14 over par.
You're kidding me.
Yikes.
14?
I don't want to spend too much time on my own golf game, but I will just tell you this, Engle. Over the last 3 months, I have never drove the ball better. It is wild. I used to hate hitting driver, and now I cannot wait. It is by far the best part of my game. That said, the rest of my game is in shambles. I am horrible at putting right now. My short game is an absolute mess. And I am fighting the most uncurable draw ball flight in the history of golf. I don't think I have hit a non-driving fade since Joe Biden was still the Democratic nominee. I just cannot do it. And it is not for a lack of trying. I have been to the range a few times. I warmed up before my round on Friday, and I tried so hard to move the ball left to right, which was my natural ball flight for 20 years. And I cannot do it. I either draw the ball or hit a shank trying to hit a fade. And it's driving me insane.
At least statistically speaking, you're an above average player.
Because my ball flight is now right to left, I am hitting my irons 15 yards further, and I cannot stop them at all on the green. This is nightmare fuel, buddy boy.
Oh, man. Take that to the desert, and you're dead.
Yep.
Because those greens don't spin back.
No. All of that said, because the driving has been so good, I'm often left with highly lofted clubs for my approach shots, and I'm able to get away with the pulley draw because it's a shorter shot than it has normally been in the past. It just sucks to have such a gaping hole in my game right now that I can't really hide from. Anyway, I took the front side 1 up, fired a 39, he fired a 37. Par 34 on the front, by the way, so those numbers aren't as good as they sound, especially since we both combined to shoot 9 over the last 3 holes. But anyway, a win is a win. We were all square on the back, heading into the par 5 18th hole, so I just needed to have the hole to win overall, and there would be no blood on the back. I pumped a drive way out there, so does he. He hits one to 30 feet and is on in 2, looking at eagle. Not a stroke hole, I might add. I clutch up. I hit one to 10 feet beneath the hole. Now I have my own look at eagle, and it's a good one. He 2-putts for bird, and now I can make this putt and accomplish 2 things. 1, I would win the back and clean sweep everything for the entire $15. 2, I would make the very first eagle in my entire golf career. 10 feet up the hill. I read it left to right.
3 Jack City.
I pick my line. I give it some pace. I missed the hole completely because it was dead straight. No eagle, but a 13 over 83 that I thought might have been a 63 after my first 6 holes. Good news, the score gets thrown out by the USGA because it's not one of my best 8 from my most recent 20 rounds, so the handicap remains 11.8. I love golf. I hate my ball flight right now.
Speaking from experience, the handicap system sheds a general light on your game. But only you and those close to you know which direction you're truly heading right now. And you're going up.
Yeah.
And you know it.
I do.
And it's hard to swallow that.
Sure is.
It's hard to know it. It's hard to live it.
Right.
It's hard to do it.
Yep.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I look forward to figuring it out.
The worst part about all of this is that given the holidays and the start of the new year and how fast the powwow is going to come up on us, the powwow, we use the low index for the year to get sandbaggers, just to keep them at bay. So really, really stoked to hear that your skill set and your handicap is jumping up rapidly between now and April, and that we will be playing off your better than most average golfers handicap. So we're screwed completely, especially if you're going to be pulled drawing every green. Looking forward to that. Anybody want to play in the member guest powwow out there? Taking offers.
We've been partners 3 years in a row.
I think so. First year was bad. Really bad.
Really?
Well, my first time on the big stage. My first time at the show. Second year, won our flight. Third year, won our flight. What are we going to do this year, folks? Like Engle said, they go off the low handicap index, which for me is going to be an 11.8. I am probably playing like a 14 or a 15 right now.
Yep. Which doesn't help in 9-hole matches. 18 holes, sometimes you can fight your way back. 9, pressure's on, bud.
That's right. Topic number 4. We are rolling, man. Let's keep it going. Engle, I want to play a little game called Guess That Theme Park. I'm going to play a piece of audio courtesy of ABC News 7. After hearing it, you have to tell me which theme park did the incident occur. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Please note with the audio, I have bleeped out the name of the theme park and the ride. You ready? Here we go.
This is the attraction at which has finally been lowered to the ground after 2 hours. 22 passengers stuck on this ride in a horizontal position, and just seconds ago we've got video as the shoulder harnesses were released, and a flurry of guests immediately got up from those seats after being in a very uncomfortable position again for a couple of hours. Several of them appeared to be in some distress. Lots of folks hobbling off the ride. One woman appears to be unable to get up. She is now in a wheelchair, and there are other folks who have literally limped away, and you can understand why, especially if their legs and hips were dangling for so long, depending on which end of those spokes you were in. It appears that everybody's okay. Certainly many of these folks may have to get checked out, and obviously a major investigation will be conducted.
Ryan Engle, after hearing that news report, where do you think dozens of guests were trapped upside down on a roller coaster for 2 hours?
I'm going to take a little risk here in my answer, Adam.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that I have this right. Before saying what my guess is, I'm going to answer with a little story.
Okay.
Years ago, my little brother, he was maybe 3 or 4 at the time. We head over to this amusement park. We're in the little kiddie section, and it's like these little miniature trains, but the attendants would push them. They were naturally pushed on the track to like go around in circles stuff. It was like kind of for maybe just older than toddlers or whatever, you know. And my little brother was somewhat of a advanced kid for his age as far as like speed, sports, getting roughed up. So he's asking for faster, right? So this idiot worker there, who was probably high on drugs, runs this train at the track and runs it as fast as he can right into a turn, and then lets go, and the train just skips the rail. Everything comes crumbling down. My brother goes flying, hits his head. It's a whole nightmare, right? They get all the people to come over here, and they're acting nice and trying to help him, but what they're really doing is trying to make sure that we're not going to sue him, and I realize that now. And they gave us like free passes and stuff. And this would only happen at one amusement park, and one amusement park only.
I hope you get this right.
It's Knott's Berry Farm, and everybody knows it. The place, it's Knott's Ghetto Farm. It is the shittiest amusement park ever. You go there and you're like, this is like a mix between a fair, a standing amusement park, and the swap meet.
Ladies and gentlemen, credit where credit is due. He got it right, but is it not the easiest game show in the world? If someone is narrowly escaping death, or gunshots are ringing out, or teenagers are brawling in front of kids, or a naked man has climbed to the top of a 312-foot roller coaster to dance and wave an American flag, you just know you're at Knott's Berry Farm. So you are correct. That happened at Knott's Berry Farm. And I know it is not politically correct to use the word that you just used, but there is a reason Knott's Berry Farm is often referred to as
Knott's Ghetto Farm.
In fact, if you type Knott's G into Google, Google itself will complete the suggested search of Knott's Ghetto Farm. There is an Instagram handle called Knott's Ghetto Farm that just documents all the bad things that happen there.
I was going to ask, because you know how they have the People of Walmart
Sure.
stuff? I was like, you could easily do a People of Knott's Ghetto Farm.
Absolutely. Or tragedies at Knott's Ghetto Farm.
Yeah.
Or mishaps at Knott's Ghetto Farm.
Or Sheriff's Blotter at Knott's Ghetto Farm.
Correct. So, of course, a bunch of people got hung out like laundry for an entire 2 hours, 60 feet above the ground, upside down and sideways. And, of course, those people could barely walk when the carnies at the Ghetto Farm finally figured out how to lower them back down to earth.
Well, in Knott's Berry Farm's defense, those same people probably could barely walk before they got on the ride. So, there is that.
And, of course, all the personal injury lawyers in Southern California probably raced down to the grass parking lot and sprinted out of their sleds to get in front of these traumatized victims. This is Knott's Ghetto Farms.
How is that place still in business?
Something is always going sideways there every single day. So I really love the end of the clip when the news reporter says that a major investigation will be conducted.
And obviously a major investigation will be conducted.
A major investigation? Really?
Really?
I've got your investigation right here, newsman. It's Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
End of investigation.
Yeah.
In fact, these personal injury lawyers might have a tougher job than you would think, folks. Any judge in California is going to rule in favor of the insurance companies once they find out that this happened at the farm, because everyone knows things happen at the farm. It is an expectation. There is probably fine print waiver legalese on the ticket you purchase that says something like Knott's Berry Farm is not responsible for going Knott's Berry Farm.
Right.
I've been to Knott's many times, and I actually love it. It's freaking trashy and edgy and cheap as hell. A quarter of the price of Disneyland. And boy, does it show. Especially when you're parking on city baseball fields across the street, because why build a garage when you can just go all hillbilly with it and park on the grass? Knott's has Six Flags thrills with county fair safety. You are rolling the dice every time you walk through the turnstiles. 2 years ago, their train ride derailed because the conductor was going too fast. How does that even happen? How is a conductor of a theme park train even allowed to mess with the speed, especially to the point where he derails it with 60 guests on board?
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
Good. So what's the problem?
3 years ago, there was a shooting just outside the park that injured 2 people and caused a stampede inside the grounds that left multiple people hurt. That same year, Knott's closed 3 hours early on a Saturday because teenagers started multiple orchestrated fights at the same time. A year before that, some dude climbed to the top of Supreme Scream, which is 312 feet, and he stayed up there for hours. 20 years ago, a poor woman, rest in peace, and I mean that, fell 100 feet from a boat ride ironically called Perilous Plunge. I could go on and on. But I won't, because I don't need to. The point is, this place is synonymous with sketchy. So as soon as my wife sent me the video of a bunch of people contorted on some death coaster going through a real-life Final Destination movie scene, I was willing to bet my life they were at Knott's Berry Farm. And as someone who has frequently gambled with their own life by going to Knott's Berry Farm, that was a wager I'm accustomed to making.
Fucking thing sucks!
Fucking thing sucks!
I mean, dude, Knott's Berry Farm. Wow. How are people going back? Because at this point, you're not getting new people. Those are return customers. Somehow, culturally, their demographic of customers wants to go back.
I want to point this out, folks. I fit into that cultural demographic.
So explain to me why you would want to go back there.
The price is right. The location is fantastic. The rides are thrilling. Now, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe they enacted either a curfew or a chaperone rule for kids under the age of 18 very recently in Knott's Berry Farm, where they either have to vacate the park at a certain time or they have to be accompanied by an adult after a certain time.
That's when you know it's getting bad.
Oh, yeah. You should see the comments on this post. Top comment was,
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I just love that when I played that clip for you, you were so confident in your answer that you launched into a 3-minute story knowing you were going to be right. And if you were going to be wrong, that story was a complete miss and a waste of time.
There's no way I was going to be wrong. It was impossible.
Yep.
That place is so bad. It's unbelievable. You know what place is really sniffing on its heels, though?
In terms of being bad?
Yep. SeaWorld San Diego.
Ah.
When was the last time you went there?
Never.
Oh, it's ghetto. You should go.
All right, topic 6, YouTube comments. Let's blitz through these. These comments all come from our last episode on YouTube. Again, you can listen wherever you want, and we thank you for listening however you do listen, but we only read comments off of YouTube. Will Shores says, do I need to issue a mea culpa to Mr. Engle? As a side note, folks, this is probably the hardest I've ever laughed across all episodes. Really well done. Keep it up, boys. I had to look up what mea culpa meant. It means to admit fault. Does Will Shores need to admit fault and apologize to you?
No apology needed. I mean, let's be honest. Pretty consistent.
Twice.
Yeah, that's consistent. That'd be consistent for me.
Birdman ZH1YB. Good. That was great.
Good.
Great.
Good.
Birdman ZH1YB writes, thanks for bringing up Cats in the Cradle, Hawk. It strikes home with any father-son relationship. I promised my wife I would raise my sons differently than my time with my father. I still admired the work my dad did, but I always wanted to throw the ball around.
And the cats in the cradle and the sun.
Little Boy Blue and the Man in the Moon. Wow.
Yeah.
What a song. Maximilian writes in, hey, fellas, I slightly resent the Riverside County remarks about meth labs and commutes. I have my main home in Temecula. There are 3 golf courses within 5 minutes and always ample tee times available. My second home golf course is PGA Worst, as your CEO calls it. It has 6 golf courses, and it is just a jaunt away with ample tee times. Point is, it's not all bad out here in Riverside County.
I don't lump Temecula in with what you were saying. Temecula is like maybe the nicest outset part of Riverside County.
Yeah, it's like wine country in the middle of meth country.
Yeah, and obviously the desert's Riverside County.
Right.
So desert's nice.
Yep.
So it's not all meth labs, but there's probably a lot. And the commute does suck.
And it's the weirdest named city, Riverside. There's no river. Dry Double Golf writes, Adam, I totally get it in regards to Cats in the Cradle. Whenever it comes on the radio, I have to listen to it all the time, and I always get a little misty-eyed. Ain't that the truth? Vintage Golfwear. I agree with Ryan that the skins game is dead. The match has killed what was once a cool thing. That being said, they just came out with this year's lineup for the match. Ken Griffey Jr. is in it. I know how much Adam loves him. Do you think Adam will be watching?
Probably.
I'll catch the highlights.
I mean, can this thing get any worse? I can't wait to see what this TGL nonsense is.
Yeah.
You know? I love seeing all these like people we know in the space essentially being forced to post things about these golf clubs in this thing, and you're just like, God, this looks so bad.
Topic number 7, Black Friday Live will be this Friday, November 29th. I believe we agreed on a time yesterday with producer extraordinaire Richard Smith. 7 p.m. start time, 7 p.m. Pacific
Standard.
That is correct. 7 p.m. live on YouTube, youtube.com/@NationGolf. If you go there now and subscribe and turn notifications on, you will be alerted when we start that live show on Friday.
Are you excited?
No.
Why?
I don't want to do the show.
Why?
I don't like the show.
God, you're such a kook.
I don't like the Black Friday show. I'm worried that you and Craig are going to enact gang up culture. You're going to make it a living hell for me. And you two don't have anything to lose. I have everything to lose. I represent more than myself. We are live. There is no dump button. There is no delay. You guys are loose cannons.
Then don't come.
My wife said, if you're stressing so hard about this, because I was in a full-blown panic attack thinking about the show, she said, why are you even going? And I said, if I don't go, they'll do it on their own, and then we're really in trouble.
No. I respectfully disagree. You ever wonder that if you just let things go, it just works out all right?
I let things go last year.
No, you didn't. You held on tight and got awkwardly annoyed the entire time and then had a fucking panic attack when the cameras turned off.
Can we just have a good show this year?
We had a great show last year. You made it seem like it was so bad. I rewatched it and I was like, I almost want to rescind my apology.
Topic number 9. Our Black Friday sale continues. It's been going all month. Lots of great deals. Lots of great items. NationGolf.com. This is the time, folks.
This is the time, folks.
Get in there. Grab what you can, while we have your sizes, while we have your favorite styles. Get them at a great price. And as Ryan Engle said in a recent Instagram reel, get the gifts under the tree. Topic number 10. You can sit this one out if you want.
Okay.
It's a essay.
About what?
Gratitude.
This better be good, pal.
Pardon the forthcoming earnestness, but this is the week of giving thanks, and I want to say this. 11 months into this year, and I feel pretty comfortable saying that now more than ever, gratitude has finally become a part of my life, and not a moment too soon. I say finally because gratitude has always just been a word to me, and now lately it's become more of a mindset. And while I continue to strive to make it a more prominent mindset, it is there nonetheless, and it's a much-needed filter and outlook for viewing my own world. Life is hard. It's hard for everyone. We all have our struggles, and sometimes those struggles can get the best of us. They can impact our mood, cause us to be resentful, bitter, negative, and these feelings over time can harden our hearts, harshen our tongues, make us jaded, and poison our personalities. I've seen it happen to me. I've heard myself ask the internal questions, how come I don't make more money? How come I'm not further along than I thought I would be right now? How come my house isn't bigger? My car isn't nicer? Why am I on this hamster wheel playing out the monotonous string and not living the life that I see on TV and social media? This kind of selfish, short-sighted thinking seems almost a prerequisite for participating in modern-day American culture. And while it can sometimes lead to motivation, it can also lead to complete disregard for the countless blessings that are already in your life. Did you know that it is neurological science that our brains are preconditioned to think negatively, and that we process negative information with far more urgency and importance than we do positive? It's a primal survival mechanism called negativity bias. And while it works great for escaping a burning building or running from a bear, it can wreak havoc on your day-to-day life because we are wired to pay far less attention to the positive and ruminate on the negative. But if you know this, you can look to control this. So I've made a concerted effort to try and at least give the positive part of my brain a fighting chance against the hardwired negative pathways that are in the driver's seat. And it's as simple as thinking of things through the lens of gratitude. Everyone knows I hate my commute and being stuck in traffic, but I've started to appreciate the fact that I have a working car and I can afford the upkeep and insurance and gas, and I never have to worry about getting to a destination. Having a car is a blessing and worthy of gratitude. My small house in Fullerton, still a house, still in Southern California. How can I drive by so many people living on the street and ever complain about square footage? How can I watch so many people lose their homes in other parts of the country that are prone to natural disasters and ever have any serious issue with the size of the roof over my head? This life that I'm living that can feel repetitive and stressful sometimes is also populated by the love of my wife, 2 kids, and friends. So who am I to ever play the victim when I've been given so much? What I've come to realize this year more than ever is that I already have more than I deserve, and I'm called to be grateful for it and to start seeing things through the lens of appreciating my blessings instead of wishing I had more, because never taking inventory of what you already have and feeling shortchanged because you don't have more, at least for me, isn't how I want to see the world. Ask yourself this: what would you do if something like your home, your family, your job, your car was taken away from you today? You would probably do anything you could to get it back. But you don't have to. You already have those things, and they are so worth being grateful for. A life of gratitude can change everything, and that's what I'm working on. I'm nowhere near where I want to be with true gratitude, but it's becoming a far more prominent mindset in my life. And as we approach Thanksgiving on Thursday, my encouragement to anyone listening is, how do we take the sentiment of giving thanks from Thursday to our extremely blessed lives every single day? And if you feel like you can't relate to any of this because you don't feel blessed, I hear you. Everyone has different circumstances. But I know this about you if you're listening to this right now. You have a working phone or a working computer. You're probably in a working car. Or you might even just be working, which means you have a job. And you have an internet connection to listen to this podcast. And you're likely here in the USA with us, which means you won the lottery by being born into a free country. All of that alone is worth being thankful for. Blessings are everywhere. Let's all start counting them and being thankful.
Amen.
God bless. Thank you for listening. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Okay.
Okay.